Hello, I'm going to be going over my battery pack that I built from scratch basically. I ordered the casing itself, the BMS, and recycled the batteries from LG batteries. And I went through over 100 of them and not one bad cell, so I chose to go with the LG batteries. Uh, I went with the BMS here. This one is it's the Smart Lipo 4, and it's 48 volt to 72 volt BMS controller. And I went with the 320 amp BMS. A little overkill, trust me, it is for this. But if I decide I want to upgrade the battery pack or add a different battery pack to it or something like that down the road, I can. And use the same controller. Obviously, I went a little overboard with the hot glue, but you know, hot glue is your best friend when it comes to stuff like this. So, a lot of YouTube videos on this, on basically, okay, let's show you how it runs and everything like that. I figured I'd go over on how I hooked it up and how it operates. So, with these actual, I went with the 13S, and so with the 13S I didn't use the two end wires of the big plug here. So you'd normally have this BMS flipped around, you had the label on the other side. So it would be this wire and this wire. I didn't use these two. So the third wire out here, I bridged that wire with this one over here. And that one went to cell group 7. That might be confusing for some people. There's not really too much description on how to really power this device up to actually get this BMS up and running. What I did is I took the minus and plus here. This is basically a switch. You have to pump anywhere from 12 volts and less into the BMS to be able to jumpstart the BMS. Basically start it up with everything connected. So what I decided with that, I decided to go with a different power system to be able to power up the BMS itself. So I mounted this on the side here. I got two cells, 7.4 volts, plenty. Need like 3.2 you can get away with maybe, or 3 volts maybe. I'm not really too sure. I didn't really test on that, but I'm pretty sure you can get away with that. I put a switch in here, basically powering the cells over here to power this switch to send the voltage in here to start this up, basically. I decided to go shrink wrapping in here. This is a fail safe in case this messes up or anything like that. Then I got an extra jump start. I could hit this on, toggle it on, toggle it off. Either way, it can stay on, doesn't matter. But because what you got to do with these two wires right here, they say you got to have them twisted together, have them connected. You don't. You just need to supply voltage to this to be able to start it up. That's all you need. So just supply some voltage to these two wires right here, anywhere from 3.2 to less than 12 volts, and you're good. And basically starting over here with the big plug, the negative, that's going to go to your first negative group of where your negative starts at. And then you're going to go to the next positive, the positive on that negative right there, and you're just go such on group. Depending on what type of group you're going to use. If you're going to use a 14, 15S, you know, even a 16, you know, 16 to 20. But this is a 16, you can go with this one, 16S. I decided to go with this one, 13S. I don't really need that much power if I'm going to. I'm just riding my e-bike around. Obviously, this is not waterproof. You're not going to be taking your e-bike this out to weather. I could have my friend print a cover piece for this for this BMS, but I figured I'm not going to be running it in water or anything like that, or outside in the weather elements like that, or the snow or anything. So it's only strictly summer bike. But if you're gonna want to seal this all up, but you're gonna want airflow through this stuff too, especially the battery pack. If it's gonna be draining a lot of current, that's gonna heat up too. But what I like about this has a lot of protection on it, so I can tell what the temperatures are and the cutoff, and I can set the cutoff to actually cut off it so it doesn't reach too high of temperatures and stuff like that. And I'm gonna go over that with the app here in a couple minutes here, but yeah. So we're gonna set that to the side right now. Or no, here, let's show you the voltage right now, just what it's reading, just not with the BMS on. So I'm gonna bring my meter over here. Alright, so I got my meter there. I'm gonna hook this to the positive here. Now we're getting 43 volts. Alright. So we see our 43 volts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the BMS on. I'm going to grab the phone here. But we're going to hit the BMS on. We're going to jump start it right here. This is a little jump start switch that I put on here. And that's basically from here, the supply from the batteries supplying the voltage. So when I hit this on, the battery voltage from these is going to sink into here, into the BMS, and power the BMS up. And you're going to see a little light right here that's going to light up. There we go. And then we should see 53 volts, which we do. That's what we want. And obviously you see that light blinking right there. Now I'm going to connect to... So there's a lot of different kind of apps or whatever you could use. I'm using this app right here. I tried a couple different ones. I didn't work. So this one is called ANT BMS. If you guys can see that. I did a little side view of it. So we're going to connect to it. And there we go. We're connected. So it's going to show each cell group and everything like that. Now you can see that this light is solid now since we're connected. It's not flashing no more. So if we close this app down, now it's going to be blinking. So we're not connected. Now if we connect back to the app, it's solid. So that right there, you could tell that you're connected to your phone. So I'm using iPhone 11 Max Pro on this. You could use any iPhone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this because you already see the voltage, obviously. And we could set the voltage if we want to lower the voltage too. We're going to tape this up real quick here so we're not electrocuting ourselves. So I'm going to set this sideways. Or no, I'm going to set it off to the side here so we can see the app on the side. So I'm going to go to the side camera here. Obviously you can see all the lights. This is going to depend on, that's our communication. It's telling us we're communicating with each cell group. But depending on what you have, if you have a 16S, a 10S, or 8S, whatever you're building. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the app up. This is the app right here. ANT BMS. We're going to click on that. There, we're connected. You can see everything's on. We got 53.9 volts. That's what we got on our meter. And then we have our temperature, the MOSFETs, obviously what you're going to be drawing for your current and stuff like that. We got each cell group here. So we got all the cell groups. I got a 13S obviously. So there's all our groups balanced, you know. Obviously you're gonna want to group your batteries and use that. There's a good YouTube channel out there, DIY Powerwall. Pretty good group to follow on YouTube or Facebook. No, actually, he has an actual. It's called like. Let me see what it is, just so I can tell you guys, because it's pretty interesting. Second Life Storage. That's what it is. Yeah, actual web page. Pretty awesome. So you could group all your old cells and have them matching. So whatever type of groups you're gonna use like 4 in a group, 5, 6, 7. You kind of want to group all the milliamps all together, which is very important, especially for charging and stuff like that. So if we go over here, we could tell we got 53 volt, 53.9 volts, average. I like how they have the little meter stuff. And you can go over here too, which is pretty cool. So you can select if you want to just select whatever you want for your total voltage, current, all that stuff like that. And you can come up here and you can clear it. We can start over. So it starts off fresh. Which is pretty cool. Now there was another app here. There was paid version. It's $5. I'm gonna check it out. I don't know if this is the actual makers that make this app too. Kind of curious. So you're gonna use your battery type here. Obviously, I'm using LiPo. If you want to hit set, and you hit set, it's gonna confirm the settings. You're gonna see the system restart and beep. Obviously, it's saving the settings. There we go. So it just saved it. Now, obviously, it's gonna boot up with the 10 annoying beeps. I don't know. That's something I don't have set right or something like that. I'm not done setting all this up. I just figured I'd go through a little video on this, because I really didn't see nothing like this on YouTube or basically on this control module really too much. I only seen basically one video on it explaining how this works in a somewhat of a sense. And this is your cell group, so you're gonna want to set your cell group for however many groups you have. Obviously, I did a 13S, so I have my 13S there. And go back, we go back, and you can set all your protections there, which is nice. So your low, your highs, and all that, your current alarms. So if your battery drops too low, it's gonna alarm, so you can shut it down. And then we got our temperatures, so we can set our temperatures for charge and discharge, which is just awesome. Therefore, you're not gonna. So if you want to do a lower temperature charge, longer charge, where it cuts off to charging, and only charges at a certain percentage of Celsius, which is nice. So you don't overcharge your batteries. And your auto shutdown, so you can save your cells. SOC, calibration. And it's pretty cool with connection resistance. So this is pretty awesome. Like I said, it's a pretty cool BMS. Hall speed. Then we got system. So you can do like a factory reset, firmware update, your logs. So I don't know what that would be for. Maybe set a password. And then you got your log system. So it shows your log, which is pretty crazy. Like if you click one of these, like here, are we gonna send this to China? I don't know. Pretty interesting. Who cares? But yeah, so basically just going over BMS. You know, this is the LiPo, the 48 volt to 72 volt. I chose to go with 48 volt, which is, this is a fully charged system right here in this battery pack that I built. I haven't even charged it yet. I'm gonna have to do some discharge. I'm gonna have to set all the settings and stuff like that. But figured I'd go over the video, just kind of explaining like how I came across it and decided how to build it. You know, just going over, you know, kind of how to house this BMS and stuff like that on a pack itself and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting, that leap to say, you know, because I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find an instruction manual or really anybody else talking about this BMS or how it connects or really how you're going to connect the wires and stuff like that. So figured it was pretty interesting that I'd make a little video on it and how I built it and stuff. I mean, you might look at this and be like, oh, that's pretty ghetto, but I like it. Looks pretty cool. Looks futuristic, like something out of the space age. Looks like some serious power if you ask me, but can't wait to see how it performs on the e-bike. It's going to be pretty interesting. I just love all the protections that this BMS has. And tell me what you guys think about it. If you guys have this BMS. Too, I want to kind of know, this connects right here. I know this is basically 5 volts or to power this. But I got this to read each cell group too, to go on handlebars, build a little case for this. But you can see the communication here, which is the ground, the RXI, and the TXI, and the VCC power. Now, I can't see where this plugs in because there's no plug on this. I didn't mesh this to eBay or seller on this, but obviously they forgot to put the plug on this BMS. And why I say that is because if you look down here, right there, if I can get a flashlight, let me see. So if you get a flashlight right here, you can't see it, but it's going to be right here. There's a plug. It looks like it attaches. And that's probably the plug for this controller. Or if this is Bluetooth, I don't know. I haven't hooked it up yet. Maybe this is Bluetooth and it pairs with this. That'd be kind of awesome. And just supply the power to it, but I doubt it. If you guys know about that, leave a comment below. Appreciate it. Hope you guys liked the video. And as always, thanks for watching.